Okay, so this one is gonna be a long lesson. We're going to learn about nationalities to speak, read, write, teach, etc. So let's give it a try. So the first word we have is escribir, which means to write. Escribir. Escribir. And here we have the conjugations for escribir, and you can practice them. Practice to memorize them. Escribir. And the next verb we have is hablar, which means to speak. Hablar. To speak. Hablar. And the next one we have is leer, which means to read. Leer. To read. So these are some of the most basic ones. For example, hablar, to speak, leer, to read, and escribir, to write. So these are special because these are the ones we use whenever we have to learn a language. We need to speak, we need to read, we need to write. So these are the main parts of learning a language. And the next one is enseñar, which means to teach, or it also means to show. So you can say, yo enseño español. It means I teach Spanish. But it also means I show. For example, yo enseño mi teléfono. I show you my phone. So this one has a double meaning, but if you use it for to teach, everybody understands. Yo enseño español, yo enseño inglés, matemáticas. So this one is simple. And now we get into the fun stuff. We're going to learn about nationalities. So the first country we have is Mexico. 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 And the nationality for somebody from Mexico would be Mexicano. Mexican. Mexicano. And the language is Español, which means Spanish. Español. Spanish. And let's try the next one. So the country we have is Estados Unidos, which means the United States. Estados Unidos. So the nationality for someone from the United States is estadounidense, which means United Station. So we have a special word for people from the United States, which is called estadounidense, United Station. And we can also use americano, which means American. Americano. Or estadounidense, United Station. And the language of the US is inglés, English. Inglés. And the next country is Francia, which is France. Francia. So people from France, they are called français or francesa. So French. Français. Francesa for women. El francés, the Frenchman. La francesa. And the language is francés, which means French. Francés. Okay. And the next one would be China, which is China. China. And the nationality would be Chino or China. So basically Chinese. Chino. China. And the language is Chino, which is Chinese, the language, the Chinese language. Chino. And you can actually tell that the language and the nationality tend to be quite similar sometimes. So let's try the next one. The country we have is Russia. 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 So the nationality would be Russo. Russian. Russo or Rusa, female Russian. rusa. And the language is Ruso, Russian. Ruso. Okay, and the next one is quite simple. Italia, Italy. Italia. People from Italy are Italiano. Italianos, Italians, Italianos. So Italiano for male, Italiana for female, and Italianos for everyone. The plural of Italian, Italianos. And the language is Italiano. Language, Italian, Italiano. And the next country is El Reino Unido, the United Kingdom. Reino Unido, United Kingdom. If you want to say the United Kingdom, you just add el Reino Unido. And the language, or the nationality is Inglés, English, or Británico. Británico refers to British. Británico. So you can say Inglés or Inglesa for female, Británico or Británica for British. And the language is Inglés. English. Okay. The next country is Colombia. So Colombia. Colombia. And the nationality is Colombiano or Colombiana. So Colombian. Colombiano for male, Colombiana for female. And the language is Español, Spanish. Español. Another country, España, Spain, España. And the nationality is Español, Spanish. And the language is Español, Spanish. So basically, a lot of the main languages come from European countries. So the nationality and the language would be similar. Except when it comes to Latin American countries, because we have Mexico and we speak Spanish, Argentina, Espanol. So when it comes to European countries, the language and the nationality tend to be almost the same. Okay, let's try the next one. As I mentioned the example, Argentina, Argentina. The nationality would be Argentino, Argentinian, but the language is Español, Spanish. Español. So the next one is Canada, which is Canada. Canada. And the nationality of Canada would be Canadiense, Canadian. Canadiense. And the language, Canada has two, Inglés y francés. English and French. Inglés y francés. Okay, and the next country, Alemania, Germany. Alemania. The nationality would be Alemán, German, or Alemana, female German, Alemana. And the language is, like a European country, Alemán, German, Alemán. And the next country is Japón, Japan, Japón. The nationality, Japonés or Japonesa, as well as the language, Japonés, Japanese, Japonés. And one last example, Egipto, Egypt, Egipto, Egipto. And the nationality, Egipcio, Egyptian, Egipcio, or Egipcia for female. And the language would be Árabe, Arabic, Árabe, Árabe. Okay, let's try some of the examples. The first one we have is Yo escribo chino. I write Chinese. So simple. Yo, I, escribo from escribir, then look for the conjugation, and chino, Chinese. The next one is El hombre lee francés. The man reads French. El hombre lee francés. The man reads French. The next one would be Tú hablas español. You speak Spanish. So here we have the conjugation. Tú hablas español. So simple. And the next one, los estadounidenses hablan inglés. So the United States speak English. So basically the Americans speak English. Los estadounidenses hablan inglés. This is quite a fun word, actually. I kind of like it. United Station, estadounidense. Okay, let's try the next one. Este niño es ruso. This kid is Russian. Este niño es ruso. So this kid is Russian. The next example would be las personas en Japón hablan inglés. People in Japan speak Japanese. Las personas en Japón hablan japonés. And another example, los alemanes leen en el restaurante. The Germans read at the restaurant. Los alemanes leen en el restaurante. And another one would be, la maestra enseña inglés en la escuela. La maestra, the teacher, enseña, teaches, inglés en la escuela. English at school. So that's it for this one, and make sure to practice and read through the conjugations. They would be helpful in the future. So thanks for watching. So now it's your turn to practice Spanish. You can find the lessons Quizlet by going into the lecture resources folder. Thanks for watching.